Hey, it looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. Just going to find this post while we wait for some people to join us and share it into my group as well. Just got a notification that my internet connection is not fast enough. Nothing out of the ordinary here. And I even put on my work shirt today because, as you know, we're all stuck at home. I haven't put this on for quite a while. But I put it on just for you, just so that we can maintain some professionalism at home. I thought I'd better not show up in my pajamas. Alright, I found the post. Let me know if you're watching. Say hi. This is how we can be social now, through the magic of the internet. This is the most social contact that a lot of us are having. So I would love it if you say hi and just let me know how you're going and we can have a chat. How are you going at home? How are you going with social isolation and all of this virus stuff that we're all overhearing about? So let me know if you're there. And what I thought I would do today is I've got a question submitted from inside the Dog Matters Academy, and I'm going to answer that question and try and make it a bit more of a regular thing while we're all at home, that I'll come on and answer your dog training questions. I've actually been really busy at home, and although I can't wait for life to return to normal and the virus stuff to be over, I'm actually quite happy at home. I'm an introvert, and so I've been quite enjoying being at home. Hey Tony, thanks for joining us. So the question that I have has to do with the social isolation aspect, and the question is from Nikki, who's been taking part in our free reactive dog video workshop. I'll put the link in the comments after this video if you'd like to check that out if your dog's reactive. And I know everyone's saying it, but there's never been a better time to train your dog at home. And if you have some extra time and you're spending time at home, your dog will love you for it if you give them some training. So Nikki's question is, thank you, I needed this. I have a question. I have a 5-month-old puppy, and due to the coronavirus, she hasn't been able to go to dog training, etc. I'm walking her, but in the country, as I live in the country, I take her for drives, etc., but I notice she is scared when she sees other dogs that aren't her breed. Do you have any suggestions, please? Thank you, Nikki. Well, thanks for your question, Nikki, and I will offer some suggestions. This is a hard one when we're stuck at home and we have a young puppy, and I actually saw a trend going around, #quarantinepuppy. So a few months down the track, or maybe a year down the track, however long this all takes, we're going to have a lot of work as dog trainers from puppies that don't get socialized, because it is critically important that they get socialized. However, a lot of people misunderstand what socialization means. We can do a lot of socialization without leaving the home. It's not ideal, because it is the most ideal case that they get access to other environments and experience with that. But there's a lot we can do at home to help prevent issues. And we can socialize puppies without them getting up close and playing with other dogs all the time. So let's break this down to the few different areas that we can still cover. First of all, 5 months old, you're sort of getting out of the critical period now, but there's still a lot that you can do to prevent this getting worse, Nikki, and to help with your puppy to be as confident as possible. So I would be putting a strong emphasis on confidence development. If you have a young puppy or you're getting a quarantine puppy, they're still going to need socialization. So this is going to depend on where you're at and what the current laws and isolation rules are for where you are. So for example, where I am, we are allowed to go for a walk for our exercise, and we are allowed to have up to 2 people in public. We can't, however, just go for a leisurely drive for no reason. So if you can walk around your local area, staying away from people, you might wonder, how can I socialize my puppy if I can't socialize, if I can't go near anyone? Here you are also allowed to visit close friends and relatives with a limit of 2 people visiting another household. So if you have any friends and relatives that you are still visiting and in touch with, and they have a reliable and safe dog, do as much as you can with letting your puppy meet those dogs. And I say a reliable and safe dog because not every dog is an ideal candidate to socialize your puppy with. If you get a dog that's too rough, rambunctious, and over the top, you can do more damage than it's worth if you choose that dog to socialize your puppy with. But If you can just see dogs from a distance, that's another option. And in fact, a lot of the socialization that I do with puppies on a normal day-to-day basis uses this technique, because I want puppies to know that other dogs are okay and safe and not a threat. But I don't want them to think that every time we see another dog, we're going to pull the leash and rush over excited and play with the other dog and lose our minds about how exciting it is. I want my dog to see the other dog and go, cool, other dog, yep, keep walking, and even check in with me, look up at me, or at least be ready to listen to me and know that what I say and what I'm doing is more important than that dog or puppy over there. So if you can go for a little walk or go for a drive and you can see other people walking their dogs from a distance. You mentioned, Nikki, that your puppy is showing that she's a little bit fearful if it's a dog that's not her breed. So I would do some counter conditioning, and it's really simple. All I would do is every time your puppy sees another dog, say yes and give them a reward. So that might be a treat or play with a toy. A treat's certainly the easiest to maneuver, because you don't have to move around, whereas toys are an easier reward if you can have some movement, like playing tug or fetching a ball or something like that. But counter conditioning is when you're changing the way that your dog responds and feels about the stimulus. So in this case, a dog. So if your puppy currently feels nervous or scared around a dog, you're wanting to change that feeling to happy and confident. So the reward comes from you, though. If you were to let your dog or your puppy pull over to the other dog and meet and greet, say hi and start playing, they're going to maybe not be as scared depending how the interaction goes. Could also be more scared if they have a negative interaction. But they could get the reward from that dog in the form of that excitement and play, which would go too far the other way. So it's all about finding that balance where they're confident and they're not worried about it, but they're also not fearful and they're not over the top excited. So in the situation we're in now, where we can't go up to other people and ask to meet their dog, which we don't want to do with strange dogs anyway, I would get your puppy to just look at the other dog, get their reward from you. So if your puppy will work for treats, use a high value treat like something soft and meaty and smelly, or a bit of cheese, something really valuable. Say yes every time they spot another dog, and then reward your puppy, give them some praise, and all this good stuff comes from you. Another great exercise that I recommend for building confidence in dogs in general is a touch command. So just a hand touch where you put out your hand and say touch or whatever you want the command to be, and just have the puppy touch their nose on the palm of your hand and follow it around. So the reason that this builds confidence is it's so easy and rewarding, and it's easy for them to get that reward. And so dogs tend to think, wow, this is really fun. I love this game because it's just so easy. I can get these really easy wins. And then what we can do is move that hand target around to other areas maybe that they're not sure about, or do it in front of things that they're not sure about, and work your way closer when the time is right. So it's really simple and easy to teach that as well. We have lessons in the academy for this, but you can put out your hand and just get your puppy to sniff, say yes and treat. So you've marked the moment that they've sniffed your hand, which is getting up close. And the reason it's so easy to teach as well is if you just present an item or your hand in front of a dog, their curiosity will usually mean that they'll sniff it straight away, and you can mark and reward that behavior and then build on it to turn into more of a touch. So nice and easy. So that would be my top tips. The other thing not to forget when it comes to socializing and building confidence at home is that one of the major aspects of confidence around different environments and people and dogs is the sound. And if your dog is confident around loud noises and used to all different sounds happening, that can go a really long way to confidence in general and as part of their socialization as well. So you can get things like the Soundproof Puppy Training app that my friend Amy developed down in Sydney. And it has a library of sounds built in, and even things like dog clippers that make the sound but also make your phone vibrate so that the puppy can hear it and feel it, so that you can practice things like clipping at home without actually clipping the dog. And all sorts of sound like thunderstorms and vehicles, or vacuum cleaners and lawnmowers, or airplanes flying over, or camera sounds if your dog's being followed by the paparazzi. All sorts of sounds are in there. You can also look up different sounds on YouTube and things like that, and hook these things up to your speakers so that you can gradually raise the volume. Give your dog some food or some toys, or play with them right as the sound is happening, and then increase as your dog is confident. And that can go a long way towards socialization. So if you're stuck at home and you've got yourself a quarantine puppy, that's a really important thing to remember, is to still socialize them as much as possible. And one of the big parts of socialization is sound and environments. And they can get a lot of socialization done from a distance. They don't need to be up close to people and other dogs. They just need to see them, and they can smell them from a distance, see all the different shapes and sizes that can happen, and the different body language and behaviors that can come from people and dogs, and just get exposure to it as much as possible. But it doesn't have to be up close. That's going to go a long way, and so much better than nothing, and so much better than cooping them up inside. Now, this leads on to another topic that's been coming up with quarantine puppies, is that you're home a lot, so you figure, I'll get a puppy now because now I have all the time to train them and spend with them and get them used to the new environment that they're living in, moving into our home. But one big downfall of all of this is that you may forget to teach your puppy how to be left alone. And that's super important, because the last thing that you want to happen is when all of this is over and you start going back to work, or we can start leaving our home more again, that your puppy doesn't know how to cope with being left alone and could have major separation anxiety. So you can still teach your puppy to be left alone at home while you're stuck at home by separating them into other rooms or into your backyard, and giving them alone time every day, up to a couple of hours at a time. This is really important that you do this. Otherwise, again, we're going to have a lot of separation anxiety issues come out of this as well. So that's really important. Hey, Peter, thanks for joining. Okay, so do we have any other questions or anything to add on to that? I've been really busy at home because I've been creating courses and content. In case you don't know, I also help dog trainers, so I give them business coaching for their businesses. And a lot of dog trainers are having a really hard time right now, as are most businesses in this pandemic crisis. So if you have a dog trainer or you know one, you've been thinking of getting training, please support them. They can still help you with training. We're all offering video consults. Some of them are still able to do board and train. So this might be a good time to get some training with your dog, because you'd have time to practice at home and implement the steps that they show you how to do. And video training is super effective as well. So don't worry about the fact that you can't be in person with the trainer. It works really well. So make sure you support your trainers and all your small businesses out there, so we can all help each other through this. And I hope you're all doing okay. If you have any other questions, you can put them below. You can inbox the page and say this is a question that you can include in a live video. Or you can join the free Dog Matters Academy, and there's areas to submit questions in there as you go through the free content, or you can upgrade to one of our paid courses as well. So we have our virtual dog school and our Frantic to Focus course for reactive dogs. I'll put all the links in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know hello or any questions you have, and keep in touch and stay safe and healthy. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.